こんにちは。私はアンドリューです。これは日本語の第4課です。はじめまして。Hi everyone, this is Andrew again. This is my fourth lesson in my Japanese tutorial series. It's titled はじめまして. Okay, so from here on in, I won't be using any Romaji. I'll only be using Japanese script. So that'll be kanji, hiragana, and katakana. If you don't know them, I suggest that you learn them. So you can look at lesson 2 and lesson 3 for a brief introduction. Okay, let's take a look at some of these kanji. This kanji is pronounced dai. And it's an ordinal marker, so it's equivalent to, say, English TH or English RD, so like third, fourth, etc. So whatever number comes after it, in this case 4, so this would mean the fourth. So daiyon, daiyon is the fourth. Ka just means lesson or sometimes chapter or section. So daiyonka just means the fourth lesson. And this one down here is hajimemashite. It just means, literally it means for the first time, but it's used as a kind of a greeting, like it's equivalent to how do you do. You only use it once when you first meet somebody. Hajimemashite. Okay, let's begin. Today we'll be looking at just a basic sentence pattern. Okay, wa, although it's a ha, it's actually pronounced wa when it's a particle. This particle basically just indicates the topic. So whatever comes before the particle wa is the topic of the sentence. So for example, watashi wa I. Des, that should be a det, not a English 2. Des just means, its basic translation is or am. So the verb usually comes at the end of a Japanese sentence. So, for example, let's do an example sentence. So, watashi wa aNdryū desu. Watashi wa Andrew desu. Literally, I am Andrew. So this is watashi. Watashi. I'll put all vocab in the description. For any vocab I use throughout a lesson, I'll put in the description, as well as the example sentences. So never fear. So watashi wa Andrew desu. Okay. Let's keep doing some more practice sentences. Ano hito wa dare desu ka? Ano hito wa dare desu ka? Okay. First of all, any sentence that ends in ka is a question. It's basically a question mark, I guess, but you do say it. So, desu ka. So, ano hito wa dare desu ka? Ano. So, ano means kind of that. So, that. Hito. Hito is a person. So, ano hito wa dare desu ka? Dare is who. So, ano hito wa dare 誰ですか means, who is that person? あの人は誰ですか? To say that in a more polite way, you would say, あの方はどなたですか? あの方はどなたですか? Okay. So, 方あの方 Kata is just a polite way to refer to a person. So, あの方はどなたですか? And どなた is a polite version of who. Okay, so あの人は誰ですか? So probably with your friends you might say that. If you're working for a company or something, you might say あの方はどなたですか? Good. Okay. Let's continue. Samu-san です。So this might be an answer to あの人は誰ですか? And the answer will be サムさんです。That is Sam. That is Sam. Or it doesn't actually, you could say あの人はサムさんです。あの人はサムさんです。But if somebody's already asked you the question, so あの人は誰ですか? サムさんです。It's okay just to reply directly with the name, with des at the end. So it's Sam. Who's that person? It's Sam. Samu-san desu. San, you've probably heard it a lot, is a polite, it's kind of equivalent to Mr. or Miss or Master. Not that we use master much anymore in English. It's just a polite way to refer to somebody. You wouldn't say samu desu. You'd almost always say samu-san desu. So it's Mr. Sam or Master Sam. Okay. Let's try a couple more practice sentences. Ri san wa gakusei desu ka? Ri-san wa gakusei desu ka? So, Li or Ri, it could be a Chinese person, Li-san. So, Mr. Li or Mrs. Li wa gakusei desu ka? Is Mrs. Li a student? So, gakusei is a student. Is Mrs. Li a student? Note this circle at the end. This circle at the end is just equivalent to a full stop or similar, but it's always drawn in as a maru, as a circle. Even at the end of a question, there is no. Well, you can use a question mark. I think modern Japanese would often use question marks. But if you're using ka, there's no need for a question mark. It's indicative of a question. Ri-san wa gakusei desu ka? Is Miss Lee a student? Now, to reply to that, you can say, if you want to say yes, she is, you can go, Hai. Hai, gakusei desu. Hai, gakusei desu. Yes, student. Yes, it's basically, effectively it means, yes, she's a student. But you wouldn't say, はい、リーさんは学生です。You could, はい、リーさんは学生です。But there's no need. If somebody's asked you, リーさんは学生ですか? はい、学生です。Yes, a student. Is Miss Lee a student? Yes, a student. はい、学生です。Okay. Another question. Just trying to remember my kanji for the Japanese names. Suzuki. Suzuki. Suzuki, is that? Yeah, I think that's right. I just rewrite it to make it look a bit more like one kanji. So that's a single kanji I've written there. Suzuki. Suzuki-san wa, Suzuki-san wa, sensei ですか? Suzuki-san は先生ですか? So, single kanji. Suzuki. Suzuki-san wa sensei desu ka? You've probably all heard of sensei, even if you don't speak Japanese. Sensei. Suzuki-san wa sensei desu ka? Is Mr. Suzuki a teacher? Or is Mr. Suzuki the teacher? And if we want to say no, he isn't, or no, she isn't, we can go ie. So that's no. Ie. Sensei じゃありません。ありません。いいえ、先生じゃありません。じゃありません is the negative form. じゃありません is the negative form of des. So it's effectively saying isn't or are not or am not. So いいえ、先生じゃありません。鈴木さんは先生ですか? Is Mr. Suzuki a teacher? いいえ、先生じゃありません。No, teacher he is not. Or no, teacher not. No, he's not a teacher. Again, you don't need to say, いいえ、Suzuki さんは先生じゃありません。You don't need to say that. いいえ、先生じゃありません。No, he's not a teacher. Okay, you can, to be a bit politer, you can say, ではありません。ではありません。So, 先生ではありません。It's a bit more formal, I guess. But じゃあありません is okay. いいえ、先生じゃありません。Good. Next example. Let's talk about Sam again. Sam さんは会社員です。会社 Sorry, I'll do that again. These graphic tablets can sometimes be a bit tricky to write on. 会社員です。Let's make a statement. サムさんは会社員です。会社員。会社員。会社 literally means a company. In is like an employee of that company. So Sam さんは会社員です。Sam is a company employee. Okay. Lee, let's talk about Miss Lee again. Lee さんは中国人です。リーさんは中国人です。中国人。リーさんは中国人です。中国 is the characters for China, Middle Kingdom, if you want to get literal. And Jin is, you probably noticed it's the symbol for person, Hito. In this case, it's pronounced Jin. So, 中国人、アメリカ人、オーストラリア人。私はオーストラリア人。リーさんは中国人です。So, Miss Lee is Chinese. Okay. Now, we can use another particle. Instead of using wa, we can use another particle to indicate to or as well. So, for example, サムさんは会社員です。Let me just, I'll erase this one. So, サムさんは会社員です。What if I wanted to say I'm a company employee too? Well, you can go 私も会社員です。私も会社員です。So I too am a company employee. So も is just used to mean as well or to. 私も会社員です。So before we said, リーさんは中国人です。What if we want to say, Miss Young is Chinese too? Well, we could say, Miss Young, say, Yan さんも中国人です。Yan さんも中国人です。So Miss Yang or Yan is also Chinese. Okay, so the key here is も。私も会社員です。ヤンさんも中国人です。Miss Yan is also Chinese. Now, usually you only use it if it's been mentioned before. You can't just suddenly say that. So, for example, in this case, サムさんは会社員です。It's okay to say 私も会社員です because somebody's already mentioned that somebody's a 会社員. If you just randomly went up to somebody and go 私も会社員です, that would sound a bit strange because nobody's mentioned 会社員. Yeah. So it's only if it's been mentioned before in conversation. Righto, let's have a look at a conversation. well, small conversation. Shitsurei desu ka? Shitsurei desu ka? お名前は、Okay, in this case we'll use a question mark because we're not completing the sentence fully. So, first of all, shitsurei. Shitsurei just means, I guess, impoliteness or bad manners. So, shitsurei desu ka? Ga. The particle ga in this case means but. Well, it's just meaning but in this case. So, shitsurei desu ka? So, if I say shitsurei desu ka, it means a little bit similar to say, excuse me, but it's kind of got an excuse me connotation to it. Literally, it's like, I'm being rude, but so I'm interrupting you or something like that. Shitsurei desu ka? Onamae wa? So, onamae. Namae is just name. It's kind of similar to English, isn't it? Namae, just by chance, I think. O. Shitsurei desu ka? Onamae wa? O is just a sort of a respectful term. So namae by itself is name. You could go namae wa, but to be respectful to the person, you put onamae wa. So it's saying I'm respecting you. So it's a polite way of saying, excuse me, could I please have your name? Shitsurei desu ka? Onamae wa? Now you could go onamae wa nan desu ka? You could say, what is your name? But often you can just say onamae wa. Your name? Excuse me, your name? So maybe a hotel staff might ask you this. Shitsurei desu ka? Onamae wa? And the reply might be, let's do a different name. Andy desu. Andy desu. So I'm Andy. And back to the first person. Just say they misheard you, which has happened to me a lot. Handy desu ka? Handy desu ka? So instead of saying Andy, they thought I said handy. Are you handy? And I reply, yeah. So no, yeah. Shitsurei desu ka? Onamae wa Andy desu. Handy desu ka? Iie, Andy desu. So, excuse me, could I have your name? It's Andy. Handy? Is it handy? No, Andy. Okay, so it can happen, especially with foreign names, because Japanese people might not necessarily be familiar with many names. Andy may be no problem, but this did happen to me actually. Somebody called me Handy, which maybe I am a bit handy. Okay, next conversation. Hajime mashite. So remember, the title of the lesson was Hajime mashite. はじめまして。let's use a different name. マイクです。はじめまして、マイクです。アメリカから来ました。はじめまして、マイクです。アメリカから来ました。どうぞよろしく。はじめまして。sort of, how do you do? マイクです。I'm Mike. アメリカから来ました。アメリカから来ました。So, から just means from. So, America, as you could guess, is America. から from America. And this is き as in to come. So, アメリカから来ました。I came from America, or I'm American, you could almost say. I'm from America. どうぞよろしく。どうぞよろしく。It kind of literally means, please treat me well. And it's something you'd say at the end of meeting somebody. It just means treat me favorably or something to that effect. It's very common to say, どうぞよろしく. Or sometimes they just say, よろしく. So, はじめまして、マイクです。アメリカから来ました。どうぞよろしく。How do you do? I'm Mike. I'm from America. Please favor me. And the second person might say it's Andy again. Andy です。どうぞよろしく。どうぞよろしく。Andy です。どうぞよろしく。So these are two people talking to one another in Japanese. はじめまして、マイクです。アメリカから来ました。どうぞよろしく。Andy です。どうぞよろしく。Just a polite way to greet one another if you haven't met each other before. Okay. Okay, now imagine that somebody's introducing somebody. Just say there's a new employee called Peter, and one of the staff members is introducing Peter to the rest of the staff. Okay, so we'll go... Let's do that again. 皆さん、こちらは、ピーターさん。皆さん、こちらはピーターさんです。皆さん、こちらはピーターさんです。So, 皆さん、alright. 皆さん。It's a kind of a polite way to address a group of people. It's kind of like saying ladies and gentlemen. It means kind of everyone. So it'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, こちら is a kind of a polite way of saying this. So 皆さん, this is Peter. This is Mr. Peter. 皆さん、こちらはピーターさんです。Hi everyone, this is Peter. Mr. Peter. And how does Peter reply? Peter replies with a nice friendly greeting. Oops, sorry. おはようございます。Good morning. おはようございます。おはようございます。ピーターです。おはようございます。ピーターです。Let's say Peter works for he's from a visiting company. クラフトの社員. So before we talked about 会社員, 社員 is just an employee in effect. 会社員です. Sorry, 社員. クラフトの社員です. どうぞよろしく. We'll make it a bit more formal. お願い. Yeah. お願いします. Okay. As I said, I'll put all the vocab in the description, so don't fret. It'll be typed up. Okay. So, 皆さん、こちらはピーターさんです. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Peter. おはようございます. Good morning. Peter です. I'm Peter. Now, you can't refer to yourself as son. You can't say, 私はピーターさんです or ピーターさんです. It's considered, I guess, a little bit rude. You wouldn't say it. You just say, Peter です, Andy です, アンドリューです. Never use son to refer to yourself. It's kind of a respectful term that you'd use for somebody else. So, おはようございます。ピーターです。クラフトの社員です。クラフト, I just assumed this is how craft would write there. As in the craft food company. Let's assume that he's from craft. クラフトの社員です。I'm an employee of craft. Not, I didn't introduce this. Not is kind of, it's a particle used as a possessive. It's kind of similar to, say, an apostrophe. Or it denotes sort of belonging to or ownership. So if I said, 私の本です. So 本 being a book. 私の本です means my book. Or Peter の本です is Peter's book. In this case, クラフトの社員です. It means like crafts employee. Or in this connotation, it's like I'm a employee of craft. So, おはようございます。Peter です。クラフトの社員です。どうぞよろしくお願いします. So, this one here. Before we use どうぞよろしく, to be more formal, you'd say お願いします. It kind of means please, a very formal sort of way to say please. So that is ね. Negai. So お願いします. Okay. Next. Let's just do some practice questions to finish up the lesson with. I'll use another common word, anata. Anata just means you. Anata wa. Anata wa. Ginko. Anata wa ginko-in desu ka? Ginko-in. Ginko is bank. Ginko, so those two characters there mean bank. In, we know, is to be an employee. So, anata wa ginko-in desu ka? Are you a banker? And how could we reply? Just say, yes, we are a banker. So we could go, hi, yes. Ginko-in desu. Hi, ginko-in desu. Yes, I'm a banker. Don't kill me. Many bankers aren't very well liked nowadays. So, anata wa ginko-in desu ka? Hi, ginko-in desu. Yes, I'm a banker. Okay, how about... Let's say we're talking about a child. So... we've been using san a lot, so that san you can pretty much use for anybody. Well, any adult generally. So it means Mr. or Mrs. or Miss. What if we're talking about a small girl? Let's call her Tamara. Mind blank. Tamara. Tamara-chan. I'll just do that all again. Tamara-chan. Tamara-chan. Tamara-chan wa, and let's say we want to know how old she is. Nansai. It's a bit of a complicated kanji, this one. I think that's it. Nansai desu ka? Tamara. Tamara. Let me do that ma again. It doesn't look right. Tamara-chan wa nansai desu ka? So nan just means what. So and sai means years, in effect, for how many years. So in this case, nansai would mean, well, literally it means what years, but in this case it's translated as how old, I guess. How old are you? So Tamara-chan wa nansai desu ka? How old are you, Tamara? Or you could be asking her parent, how old is Tamara? It depends on who you're phrasing this question to. So it could be, how old is Tamara? Or it could mean, how old are you, Tamara? Depending on who you're questioning. And whoever replies could say, go sai desu. Go sai desu. So often you'll see whatever this is, Roman or numbers inside, not Roman, sorry, Latin numbers, I don't know, English numbers. You'll see the English digits inside Japanese scripts quite commonly. You don't need to write the kanji. Rarely would you write the kanji in this case. So gosai desu. I'm 5 or she's 5. たまらちゃんは何歳ですか ?5 歳です。I'm 5. Okay. Next, let's do one more with about Sam. So, Samu-san wa, now what could Sam-san, what could he be? Let's just say we think he's a doctor. He's wearing a white cloak or something. He's wearing a white lab coat. Samu-san wa, Isha desu ka? Samu-san wa Isha desu ka? Now, Isha is like a medical doctor. Isha. Samu-san wa Isha desu ka? So if you were asking Sam this, you'd use his name. Usually you wouldn't, before we mentioned anata, as in you, if you know somebody's name, you probably wouldn't say that. You usually refer to people as their name. Like, although in English we'd say, are you a doctor? If we just say you were talking to your friend, right? You knew them. Not a friend, sorry. You knew a person by the name of Sam. Just say, are you a doctor, Sam? It's more like saying that. So, Sam-san wa Isha desu ka? And Sam actually isn't a doctor. Yes, he's wearing a white lab coat. But he says, yeah. Isha. Isha. So remember the negative of this. Ja arimasen. Ja arima. I'll do the set again. Okay. Yeah, Isha ja arimasen. No, I'm not a doctor. So what is he? Why is he wearing a lab coat? Well, he could be a chemistry teacher. So let's just say he's a teacher. Kyo. Kyoshi desu. Yeah, that sounds okay. いいえ、医者じゃありません。教師です。So, 教師 Kyoshi just means teacher or instructor. Before we use sensei, sensei is more of a term you'd call your teacher or somebody who's in a teaching position. You could ask somebody, are they a teacher, using sensei, but you would never really refer to yourself as a sensei. It's more of a, I don't want to say honorific, but it's almost that meaning. It's like you'd call somebody else a sensei, but you'd always call yourself a kyoshi, meaning I'm a teacher, I'm an instructor. And it's kind of like a job title rather than an honorific term. So, いいえ、医者じゃありません。教師です。Okay. サムさんは医者ですか？いいえ、医者じゃありません。教師です。Sam, are you a doctor? No, I'm not a doctor. I'm a teacher. So yes, possibly a chemistry teacher or something like that. Right, well I think that'll do us. So that's given us good practice with using, let me just quick review. Using wa. Remember this is the particle wa. It's not pronounced ha. So if you see something wa, it's almost certainly wa. So, something wa, 私はアンドリューです。サムさんは 医者ですか? So, か to mean a question. か to mean a question, same as that really. Not means belong to. So if I belong to, remember craft, not sha, craft no shain desu. So I'm a employee of craft. So this is kind of like can be a apostrophe, or it can be like of or belong to or something. So wa ka no, oh yes, I forgot mo. Mo just means as well. So if somebody mentions something in a sentence and you also are one of those things or people or job or whatever, you can say mo. So for example, I meet somebody named Andrew. はじめまして、私はアンドリューです。私もアンドリューです。Yes, I too am Andrew. And the negative of des is... Sorry. じゃありません。じゃありません。The negative of des. But you can say では to be more formal. ではありません. Actually, to be honest, I've heard both. じゃありません and ではありません. So I think it depends on the speaker. But I think this one's definitely it's definitely considered more polite. ではありません. Okay, that's the end of lesson 4. Good luck with it all. As we say in Japanese, 頑張りましょう.